everybody, this is Holly Jennings with Premier Senior Consultants, and we are doing Pour and Ponder today this afternoon. So just pour you a nice glass of something you enjoy and sit with us as we're going to learn today from Tina at Settled In with Tina. And you know, Tina and I, we've known each other for a few years, and we actually got to meet each other because I got to help a loved one of yours find assisted living. So
yes, you did. Yeah, that was a few years ago, and it was fantastic because you really held my hand, showed me the different locations throughout the Central Florida area that really fit the needs that we were looking for. So I remember that clearly.
So it was great that we got to meet each other and just kind of had a bond. And I think that was the first time I really saw maybe the light go off for you on how you felt like you could serve seniors. Tell us about that journey.
Yeah, no, thank you. Because, you know, during the move, when you're moving into assisted living with a loved one, you really are concerned about several things, finances, and are they going to like the food, and are they going to like the doctors, and are you going to be good with yourself as well as far as a family member. But you're not really worried about the move. The move was easy. Hired a great mover, packed him up, everything was great. Except what happened was he moved into the apartment, and the boxes were too many for the room. We didn't right size the room. And so I kept thinking, well, that's strange, I never thought of that. And it really became an opportunity where I had gotten called back in and said, Tina, there's too many boxes, the closet's too small, what are we gonna do? So I went back into the room, and we ended up fixing that, opening the boxes, figuring out where things went. But made it really livable and happy. I mean, we were going into memory care, for example.
That's right. Yours was the memory care.
Right, it was memory care, and you think to yourself, well, it's supposed to be a happy place, right? It's supposed to be joyous. You're trying to remember things and help them continue on with their life. And, I made the bed, and we put things on the walls, and we, put the books out, and put the photos all over the place, and it really made it homey, settled in. And when I left that day, I remember the staff coming up to me and saying, I swear, Holly, they were like, oh my God, I can't believe that it looks so good. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Okay, this is great.
Yeah, this is
Thank
supposed
you.
to be.
Right. And I was like, well, thanks. But what I noticed is as I walked down the hall, most rooms were not as friendly. They weren't as happy, let's say.
Okay.
So I thought to myself, wow, and it took about 2 or 3 months, and I really kind of formulated a plan where I was like, I'm going to go in and settle them in. When somebody moves into an assisted living facility of any type, whether it's independent care or assisted living or memory care, why not have a great content of life and what's around you and really take care of them? So I started Settled In by Tina, and it really became a unpacking kind of a scenario. I'll go in, I'll unpack you, maybe the family lives out of town, and work with the community in itself, and really try to make that new resident feel welcome. Comfortable,
good,
happy to be there, so happy that they join activities and they have a good time and they get engaged and they become part of the community, as opposed to living in boxes and just sitting there.
Right.
And can you imagine somebody in a wheelchair opening up boxes and putting things away? It's just not that easy. So I started Settled In by Tina about 2.5 years ago with really great expectations of moving people in and opening their boxes. And it has just exploded into so many other opportunities and resources that I can really make a difference in somebody's life.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you really identified that, because I agree, because we at Premier Senior Consultants, we work with a lot of families, and a lot of them aren't local, and so they may not have their adult child here that's able to assist them with the move, especially.
Right.
And they really need that, or they're working, and they might not be able to sit there and do the actual transition. So I'm sure you've been able to work with a lot of families in those situations, right?
Absolutely. Do you know Holly, it's like 31% of people here in Central Florida do not have anybody else.
Wow.
They're alone in the senior scenario, and seniors being someone who's considered age 65 and older. But we all know that. I mean, I know in my business I move more people who are age 75 and older.
Yes.
So I've moved a lady who's 102 one time, and most people are in that 75 plus range that are calling and looking for our services. But that's true where, when you're blending them and putting them in the right location, like what, you guys do here at Premier, it makes a big difference. And then we come in and we, help them get engaged, help them get settled in, and really work with them on every little aspect, that they need. I talk with them for hours sometimes.
I bet you do.
Oh.
They just need somebody, sometimes just a friend or just somebody. And I'm sure it's overwhelming for the senior too. They have years and years of just treasures. And I know sometimes that move is already so overwhelming and a little hard to leave their home of many years behind. So it's probably good that you're walking alongside them doing that.
Yeah, correct. It really is. It's one where I go in prior to, with the family to pack them, to sort them, and to go through everything from their Christmas items to their pots and pans to, how many pieces of furniture should we take and right size their rooms and formulate a plan, but also to go in and really, dive into what do they want to take. I'm not taking things away. I'm not the daughter. I'm not the son. I'm the person who is their friend. I sit with them for 3-4 hours at a time. We're talking about everything from finances to I need an attorney to, where am I going to get my hair done to have you ever had the food here, And so we talk about so many different parts of that moving piece to get them in a comfort level that they become a new friend to me a lot of times. I have met fabulous people, Holly. The other day I moved a lady and she was from London. She's from England. And she was a concert flautist. She was the #1 flautist in the London Orchestra. She played all over the world. I mean, her stories were amazing. And her father was the #1 flautist in the world, playing for kings and queens all over the world.
Wow, amazing.
And the stories she had were just outstanding. I met the Queen of England, and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, this is just amazing. And you want to hear their stories, and they want to share that experience. I really do become their other friend, or sometimes people are like, Tina, you should change your company and be my new sister, my new sister's company, and mother's best friend, because it's I listen.
Yes.
I want to know what they want to take with them. I want to know what was important to them and what's that they want to keep with them.
Right.
Again, I'm not trying to be mean or saying no, we can't.
Okay.
It's just I want to also make sure that they're safe.
Right.
So a good example of that is like a lot of people say, oh, well, we need a coffee table.
Okay.
When we're moving. And when we're moving, I'm like, no, I don't think we need a coffee table, because if they're in a wheelchair or if they're using a walker or if they're at all unsteady, a coffee table doesn't help.
Right.
And God knows a glass coffee table doesn't help at all.
Right.
So you think, if something would happen and they fall, the glass would really hurt. Where at least no coffee table, they're more, able to get around and have better, circulation throughout the room and better flow overall.
Right.
So.
And I'm sure sometimes, because I'm in the same situation, sometimes it's better to hear it from someone like you or I than from their loved one, because it's a little difficult. So I know when I go in and maybe try to help kind of steer them in a certain direction, or probably when you do, they accept it a little bit better.
Right, and they really do. Just like from yourself, it's you're sharing that point of all the details.
Yes.
You know all the questions to ask.
Yes.
You know, Holly, you share and guide the families through the right decisions, and this is what this community offers. This is what this community offers. But you know it, and your company does to the last detail.
Right.
So that's extremely helpful, and people need to take advantage of that, because they don't realize all the time what is offered.
Right.
Do I have to pay for this? Do I have to pay for that? And when you come out with the knowledge and the experience and the wisdom that you have, you do become, just like me, their best friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's a trust factor. And that's really what we're offering. I hate to say that's what we're selling, because that's not what we're selling.
Yes.
We're truly offering a friendship to their families and to be one with them. You know what I mean? I mean, I get people who send me Christmas cards, I get people who send me birthday cards, and all kinds of things. Primarily because it's just that direct connection.
Right. That's good. Well, tell me a little bit about what you've got here. I know you're going to explain some of your things.
So on our website, which is settledinbytina.com, I have an article on coloring your boxes with tape. And this is pretty common. I mean, a lot of people do it, but nobody really realizes why. Because every time I do it, they're like, what are you doing with all the tape? And I bring several different types of colors of tape with me when I'm moving, specifically seniors, but it helps when I pack the boxes in the kitchen and they're in one color, and I pack the boxes in the bedroom and they're in another color. I pack the boxes in the bathroom and they're in another color. And I'm just putting a corner piece of tape on each box to reflect where the items go, so that the mover knows exactly where they go. And it's even written on the top, but it's a key code for them to use as far as the movers. But it's even better for the resident, because now all of their boxes that go in the kitchen are in the kitchen. All the boxes that are in the bedroom go in the bedroom, so that we're not having them move a box 2 and 3 different times.
Right.
Even if I'm opening it and they are like, oh, we'll just do that later, it's still in the right location. So they're not wondering where something is, or I forgot to pack this, or whatever it is. We work with a color code system, and it's extremely helpful. They love it, I love it, it's easy for our movers, makes life grand. We even recently bought a tape that was the open me first,
Oh,
you know,
very
so
nice.
is,
Yes.
it always sounds silly, but you're like, open me first, I need my toiletries, I need my toothbrush, you
Yes.
know? And it's, you know, whether it's incontinence products or it's just my coffee maker, I need
Right.
that first. And,
Right.
and they know exactly what's important. And we go through that with them. You know, we share with our residents what is important to you.
Yes.
You know, let's get the bed made. Let's make sure the pillows are in the right place. Make sure you have your pillows that you love to
Right.
sleep with.
Yes.
And all those may sound silly, but they are comfort levels to
Right.
each person's, you know, personality and type. And then we go into, you know, helping them secure everything that they need in the right place at the right time.
Okay,
So,
very good, very
But there's a
good.
great article on settlingbytina.com.
Okay, very good, very good. So are you doing, I know you're doing moves probably for those in homes going to assisted living,
Mm-hmm.
but is there any other, I mean, I'm sure that's not quite all that you do. Are you helping people downsize? Maybe tell a little bit about what all you
Sure.
do or able to offer.
Yeah, no, thank you. It is, there's a good variety of services. My business expanded, right when COVID came along, to be honest with you, which was kind of a good and bad situation for me, but it was very unique that I started working with more real estate agents.
Okay.
And as I was working with real estate agents, in addition to people like yourselves in placement companies to also, assisted living communities, the realtors knew exactly when somebody was downsizing. So they were going from a large home, we have, you know, 5,000 square feet, we're going down to 3,000, or we're going down to 2,000, whatever the scenario was. I was still able to apply the same, services and skills, right sizing, hiring a mover,
Yes.
hiring a auction company, hiring an estate sales company, hiring a clean out crew, to those moves. So we do move businesses and families, and really more families that are between the ages of 30 to 102. So
Wow.
we move them all.
Oh, that's good.
So, primarily in Central Florida, so we do stay within, Orange and, Seminole counties and Lake County and, up into Volusia County as well. But it really has hit home with more real estate agents and property management companies letting us know when somebody's, you know, moving, whether it's going out of an apartment, coming out of a condo, going into a sister, you know, community, or it's just downsizing.
Okay.
So, but we can apply again those same services and it makes the same opportunities. However, the bonus was that we gained so many more resources.
Okay.
So now if you need to sell a car, I've got somebody for that.
Wow.
If you need to move a piano, I've got somebody for that. If you need to, you know, need help with landscaping, I've got people for this. Handyman services and painting and fixing the holes when you're leaving your apartment or house. We have all those services and availabilities for
Wow,
you.
that's
So
great.
that resource explosion, let's say, has really helped out, whether it's appliance guys or, like I said, we can sell your car for you.
Yeah.
I receive an awful lot of calls from families who are out of the greater Orlando area.
Okay.
They're living in New England, they're living in the Midwest, and they are then coming in and finding out that mom lives here in Orlando
Yes.
and dad lives here in Orlando. They're by themselves, yet they need that extra help. And
Okay.
so that's where
Yes.
I'm coming into play.
Yeah.
So
I would agree. I mean, I would agree. That's where we provide the concierge type of service where those, I think, adult children are concerned about their loved ones
Right.
and they can't get to them and they can't help,
Mhm.
especially COVID has made it hard, and they need eyes on them and they need to know that they're safe and that somebody is gonna take care of them, not take advantage, and know that they can have those resources.
I think the word is concierge because it becomes a, I clearly have a lady who just called me the other day and she's like, Tina, can you go to the store and please buy sheets and sodas and have the apartment ready to go when my mom moves in?
Wow.
Sure, yes
Yeah.
I can do that kind of a thing. And it's the little details that make your company, just like mine, successful because people trust again. There's
Yes.
that trust factor and they know you can call and
Right.
get it done.
Right.
And that's it. Execution is the name of the game.
I agree.
So, it
Megan,
really
do we have any
is fun.
questions yet so far? Okay, well, let's see what else would you want to be able to share at this time? Anything else that I should
Sure,
know?
it is, you know, it is funny how the majority of people here in Central Florida, I think, are, like I said before, alone. And it's not alone so much that they don't have family, just that family lives out of state.
Okay.
So I think keeping those connections open for families who live in, whether they're in New York or they're in Pennsylvania or they're in Michigan.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter, is to keep that line of communication open, because communication is key.
Yes.
I'm here in Central Florida working with their loved one, just like you are.
Yes.
But the more communication that you can have is really, really strong. So we found that creating both a questionnaire and then sharing that same questionnaire with the family helps them to understand where we're coming from. I don't know what you guys use or
we do
what
like an
you do.
intake sort of kind of, yes.
Mhm.
So that way we have all the information that we need to make it successful.
Right, exactly. Well, but then sometimes there are little things, Holly, that I find are, it's just a conversation.
Right.
We're just talking and all of a sudden they're worried about, their kids or they're worried about their grandchildren. And so I feel personally, as an open line of communication where I'll call the daughter and say, hey, I had this conversation with your mom today about your daughter.
Yes.
And she's worried about this part and she wants to help with school or she wants to help do something. And how can we accomplish that? And no matter what the solution is, it's just having that open communication with the families that I think, again, gives them that security level that you know what you're doing, but also that you're going to be able to help their families.
Oh, that's good. Now, how have you been handling COVID? I know that that's a big question. I know we're kind of getting, hopefully, where the vaccine's getting out, people feeling more comfortable, but how have you been handling that?
COVID has been, to be honest with you, not, I really thought it was going to be a crazy time.
Yes.
And how would I handle this kind of a scenario? Each facility, fortunately, you follow their guidelines.
Right.
So each one, whether it's wearing full PPE, it's wearing the masks, it's wearing, some cases it's even been hairnets and, shoe booties.
I've
and
seen it too.
I'm sure you've worn them all, and you want to do the right thing, right?
Absolutely.
And you want to comply, and you want to, go into the facility well protected. Recently, though, I was able to get the vaccine.
Good.
So I have the Pfizer vaccine and both shots, so I feel very good and very comfortable. It was a great relief to me to have that opportunity because I wanted to make sure that I was safe, of course, but so was my client. Whether I'm with them and we're both wearing masks is only one level. So this again gives me that better opportunity to take care of them and take care of myself.
Good,
so,
good.
I don't really go anywhere when I'm in a community or even an apartment building or a condo. I'm pretty much in and out.
Okay.
But each facility does offer a different level of COVID care. There are some that we do the rapid test for COVID to see, if you have anything or any symptoms. Then there are others, like I said, that's full PPE.
Yes.
And then, it really, again, just depends on where they are coming from, and you, again, comply with that. But the vaccine for me is
good. It's good to know you were vaccinated. I got my second one today. So
Oh,
I feel okay.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
But that's good to know, and I try to also, you probably like your seniors, to know that we're being safe, we're gonna be safe coming into your home.
Right.
So they don't have to be concerned or anything like that. We wanna keep them safe.
It is, and I think, it's funny because sometimes the facility, of course, is more concerned than the senior.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's so true. I've noticed that.
It is so funny, they're like, oh, just take off the mask and you're fine, and I'm like, I don't know about that,
Right.
and unless if they're not in a room with me, then I might take off the mask, and that's only because the room is 100 degrees, but,
Right.
they always keep it nice and warm and toasty in there. But no, really, if they're around me, it's typically with a mask on, potentially even with gloves on and things of that nature. But you do have to take care of both the client and yourself.
Yeah, agreed. Well, I'm glad. Do you have anything else you'd like to share? Anything else that we didn't cover?
It is an amazing market to reach out to the families and the people. Some people had said to me, oh, you need to write a book.
Oh,
And it is because the stories that I hear, one time again, I had a lady and she was another concert person. She was from the Chicago Symphony or Chicago Orchestra, and she was their lead pianist. And again, the stories that the families don't hear, that I hear, are truly amazing. It's about their kids, it's about their grandkids, it's about their past. Whether they were from this country or they're from another country, or what are their heritages and what are their traditions. It really hits home. It really does, and it's a true storybook. It's a reality show every day, every single day. Sometimes I often laugh thinking, they should do a reality show on assisted living facilities,
Yeah.
And not to make fun of it. It's just every day it's pretty funny.
Yes.
I can go in there.
Right.
And it's, you never know what's going on. You
Right.
never know, I mean, you know what's going on, but you don't know what the person is gonna do or what you're gonna talk about. And it always turns out to be just a joy to be with them.
Yes.
It really does. I feel a great appreciation
Yes.
and a great gratitude for what I do, and how they're helped. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just like with you.
Right.
You must feel the exact same way.
Oh, I
so.
do. And like you, I know, and I'm always trying to, this is why we do these times, for one, we want you guys to know how many resources are out there, for
Yes.
one, like Tina
Mhm.
and the others that we partner with, because for one, you're not alone. There's a lot of resources out there that can help you during this journey.
Mhm.
And another thing that is important to us at Premier is to educate and not to wait for the crisis, because so many people we help in crisis, and it just doesn't have to be the case. You don't have to wait until the last minute. I know a lot of seniors want to stay in their home. We totally respect that. But, to wait till the end when there's a crisis, and then you're not getting the opportunity to pick where you're going to live, your adult child is.
Right.
And we want to share with you that you don't have to do that. You can be a part of the plan, and we want to plan with you along the way, even if you plan it and don't ever have to move there. I'm sure you would go and help them plan and say,
Right.
call me when you're ready. I feel the same way.
Mhm.
So we do these education series also for that reason, is that we want families to be prepared, to know we're out there to help you, whether it's downsizing from a large home to a smaller home,
Right.
from a large home to assisted living, whatever it may be. We want to know that, we want you to know that we're here for you. So
Right.
that's the whole point.
And it really is true. Offering those resources, like you said, Holly, is a big deal.
Yes.
It helps put a lot of peace and
Yes.
ease for both the family as well as the loved one. Our resources, we both pack and sort. We'll come in and we'll pack boxes and bring in the paper and the tape and literally pack you up. And we'll sort through your things prior to, so we know what we're
Yes.
taking. But then we also offer a navigation package, which is the resources.
Okay.
So we'll bring in the mover, we'll bring in the estate sale, if you need an auction company, we'll bring in the junk removal, we'll bring in the charity, we'll bring in anybody else that we can to really execute the entire process. And we have multiple resources on that level that does make everybody feel very comfortable.
That's good. That's good to know. So, do we have a question?
We do. Someone asked, do you move everything and can you clean out an entire home?
Wow, so do we move everything and clean out an entire home? Yes, we do, absolutely. So we can go from top to bottom. That's everything from if you need and have items in the attic to throughout the entire home. We will pack up the entire home, and then we go ahead and depending on where you're moving, figure out the right size, the furniture, and everything we need to take. We will, like I said before, hire the mover for you. We'll hire an estate sale person if that's the route we're going. If it's not, we just do an auction. We can do that. We will bring in someone to clean out the house and get that ready, whether it's a house, condo, or an apartment. We'll also go ahead and have a junk removal if there's like last minute pieces that we really don't know what to do with. And then of course the very end is anything up for donation. We'll also call those businesses in. So we do the whole clean out, clear out, and we do the whole coordination for you. Yes.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Great. All right, good. Anything else you could think of? We sure enjoyed having you. I think that was a good
Thank
overview.
you.
I wanted people to know what your services are. I know Megan put, I believe, in the chat how to reach you.
Yes. Thank you.
But please know that you can reach out to us as well if you want to get connected with Tina. We certainly can make sure that you get her information and our information as well. We'll make sure that you do. So I think we have one more question.
Says, how long will it take to pack up and move?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? That actually depends on the house. So we do a free consultation. We'll come in and coordinate with the family and or with the new resident to figure that out. It just depends on the house. If I'm moving from an apartment to another apartment or a condo and downsizing, it's different than moving from a house that's 3,000 square feet. It can take somewhere, give it a good, week for sure.
Okay.
And that's an 8-hour shift kind of a scenario, and then actually bringing in the movers and moving possibly the following week. But it just varies depending on the size of the house. But a lot of times we can do it in, if it's small enough, a matter of just days.
Okay, very good. All right. Do we have any other questions before we wrap up then? Okay. Thank you everybody for being here this afternoon, and we'll see you in a couple weeks for our next Pour and Ponder. Thank you, Tina. It's always a joy. I'm glad that we became friends. I'm glad I was able to help your family find assisted living.
Thrilled.
So yeah, it's been great. So everybody have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.